Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the October 13th, 2015 meeting of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. This morning we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business this morning is the approval of the minutes of August 13th, 2015 briefing.
Move approval of the minutes.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved.
And now we'll move to the Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 735-15, authorizing the donation of law enforcement equipment to the Village of Russellville.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. As allowed by ORC 307.12, this resolution authorizes the transfer of 2 older model tasers to the Village of Russellville. Any questions, ask approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 735-15.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 735-15 has been approved. Has been adopted, I'm sorry.
Great. Next resolution is 736-15.
Resolution number 736-15, authorizing a contract with Lewis R. Polster Company for the provision of the supply and installation of kitchen equipment for the Franklin County Correctional Facilities in the amount of $60,092.
Commissioners, this resolution approves a contract to purchase 4 double-stack ovens, a meat slicer, and 10 utility carts for meal transportation and storage. The contract was competitively bid through county purchasing, where the vendor was chosen based on price and delivery capabilities. And pending any questions, ask approval of this resolution.
Is this to replace equipment that was used and became obsolete, or?
That is correct. This is replacement equipment. It's not new.
Thank you.
Move approval of 736-15.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 736-15 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have the Auditor's Office.
Resolution number 7743-15, authorizing a contract with Pro Team Solutions Incorporated to provide computer services for the Franklin County Auditor's Office Settlement Processes Automation in the amount of $286,000.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Kevin Schultz, the Director of GIS IT for the Auditor's Office. We're here today to present a contract with Pro Team Solutions for the creation of an application to assist with the settlement and distribution of various funds. The project will be completed in 2 phases. The first phase being a design phase, where a design document will be developed to provide the details on how to distribute and settle the 10 various funds. The funds include the Real Estate Assessment Fund, the Mobile Home Fund, Gas and Motor Vehicle Tax Fund, Local Government Fund, the Public Library Fund, cigarette licensing fees, tangible personal property, and 2 funds related to Senate Bill 243 and House Bill 64. The second phase will be the actual development of the software application to assist with this process. The software will be used by both internal and external users to effectively manage this settlement process, which today is largely a largely manual process. Software will be browser-based and utilized semi-annually. The overall cost of the effort is $286,000. It's priced under the state term schedule and will be funded out of the Real Estate Assessment Fund.
Okay. Is this a US-based company? We've done business with them before, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, right, great.
Move approval of 743-15.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 743-15 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Franklin County Data Center.
Resolution number 744-15, authorizing a contract with Data Systems Integration Group Incorporated for application design and development of a .NET environment in the amount of $64,320.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution is for a supplemental contract to the State of Ohio State Term Contract and a purchase order for .NET Programming Services. This is part of the data center's strategic goal to convert our legacy applications to a .NET environment And this will allow us to, once the FCJS modernization project is complete, to retire the iSeries server and operate under just one platform here in the county. This will save us approximately $1.6 million a year in operating cost, which can instead be utilized for projects that directly impact services the county provides. Data Systems Integration Group is located here in Franklin County, and the Automatic Data Processing Board has approved the statement of work.
Wonderful. Located here in Franklin County, and it will save $1.6 million.
Yes.
Fantastic, good work.
Move approval of 74415.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 744-15 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Job and Family Services, Resolution number 745-15, granting authorization to the Franklin County Administrator to enter into a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and approving 3 sub-award agreements with Community, Refugee, and Immigration Services, Ethiopian Tawahedo Social Services, and Jewish Family Services for Refugee Targeted Assistance Program Services in the amount of $572,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lance Porter, representing Job and Family Services. This is one of 2 resolutions we have this morning for services for our refugee and immigrant population. It is 4 services that would include employability, vocational and occupational skills training, job placement services, and job retention. And this particular resolution is funded through the Targeted Assistance Grant. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
And I do have one quick question. I know there were some concerns raised by Jewish Family Services about some of their programming and the sustainability. Will this address that issue, Lance?
Yes, it does. Actually, what has happened here is Jewish Family Services and Ethiopian Tawahedo's social services was added to this group late last year.
Great.
And that's provided some opportunity to share the services and the capacity spread out between the 3.
Okay, great. So this should help JFS because I know they had a gap there. And we know, or we're hearing that we're getting more immigration, not less, right?
That's what we're hearing.
Yes, I know. It'll be nice to get that pinned down and find out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Move approval of 74515.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 745-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 746-15, authorizing a lease agreement for Job and Family Services West Opportunity Center in the amount of $2,139,750.
Commissioners, an RFP was provided for lease space, was advertised and shared with 110 companies to house our West Opportunity Center. One bid was received, and that was from FB Columbus LLC, which just happens to be our current landlord. The lease agreement is for a 4-year initial period with the option to extend for 2 additional 3-year periods. The contract maintains the current annual lease rate of $15 per square foot for the initial 4-year term, but it would increase incrementally should the county choose to exercise the option on each of the 3-year extensions. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 74615.
I have some additional questions about this lease, and I asked them over the weekend, but didn't get all the answers with the long weekend, so I'm not prepared to go forward today, especially when there's only one proposal received.
Commissioner Kenneth Wilson, Franklin County Administrator. Commissioner Brooks, Commissioner O'Grady, yes, there was a request for additional information. Over the weekend, we will provide that additional information. Therefore, I would support a recommendation to table this so that we can provide the additional information for this critical lease to ensure the operations at the West Opportunity Center.
I'll move to table for 1 week.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 746-15 has been tabled for 1 week. Resolution number 747-15, approving 3 sub-award agreements with Community, Refugee, and Immigration Services, Ethiopian Tawahedo Social Services, and Jewish Family Services for employability programs under the Refugee Social Services Program in the amount of $1,216,450. $436.
Commissioners, this is the second resolution. With the difference for this one is it's Refugee Social Services Program funding that's funding these particular sub-award agreements. And the services are just a little different, but they're going to address barriers to employment which recently settled refugee would experience, such as language and education. More so, the other one was focuses on employment. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 747-15.
And I'll second that. This is very important. I hear this is one of the top issues of really getting folks into the new American role and maintaining their
Yeah,
families.
before we can get them a job, they have to get acclimated and understand
Right.
the language and the culture.
Yeah. Thank you for your work there.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 747-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 748-15, approving 5 contracts for Title 20 services with the Deaf Services Center, Hands On Central Ohio, House of Hope for Alcoholics Incorporated, the Legal Aid Society of Columbus, and Mary Haven, in the amount of $833,992.48.
Commissioners, this is part of the annual Title 20 services that the county provides to the residents of Franklin County who want to restore, maintain, or improve their capabilities for self-support, self-care, and independent living. As she mentioned, we have 5 vendors. Deaf Service Center is going to offer case management and sign language services for the hearing impaired. Hands On Central Ohio has the information and referral service. House of Hope for Alcoholics is alcohol and drug treatment. Mary Haven has drug and alcohol treatment, and then the Legal Aid Society offers free legal assistance. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 748-15.
These are incredibly important partnerships, and we've worked with all of them for many years.
For many years, yes.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 748-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 749-15, approving a contract agreement with Dress for Success Columbus for the Workforce Readiness Suiting Program in the amount of $50,000.
Commissioners, this is one of our longtime partners, and this program will provide appropriate clothing and monthly professional development workshops to an estimated 250 women. Dress for Success has been instrumental in helping to eliminate the barrier of appropriate clothing for our female customers. Pending any questions, we'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 749-15.
And I'll second that. I think they have an event coming up, too, that the public might want to know about. Is there a website?
Yes, there is. I'm not sure exactly what the website is, but we'll put a link on ours so people can find it from
Great,
there.
great. Thank you.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 749-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 750-15, approving a sub-award agreement with Central Community House on behalf of Columbus Federation of Settlements for case management and barrier removal services in the amount of $300,000.
Commissioners, this service goes along with the workforce participation rate, and it helps to remove the barrier removal for customers who have been sanctioned and are not complying with work participation requirements. In addition, as Central Community House takes the lead, the other participating agencies include Clintonville Beechwold Community Center, Gladden House, the Neighborhood House, and St. Stephen's Community House. And last year, 45% of those helped attain employment or enrolled in post-secondary education, so they are making a dent in the work that they're doing. Pending any questions, we'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Lance, could you just explain to those who may be here but also watching? Now, there's a lot of confusion around public benefits sometimes, and there are requirements for participating in those. And this is one of the areas that Central Community House assists with, correct?
That's correct. People that are receiving cash assistance, OWF, whether it be one-parent or two-parent household, somebody has to participate in an employment or educational training component in order to receive that cash. If they are not meeting that requirement and the hours they have to participate, they can be sanctioned and removed from the program. They help with this particular population in removing the barriers that are preventing them from meeting their participation requirement.
And I know from time to time we received thank yous
Oh, yes.
for, really making sure this works correctly from the people participating. They get a lot out of the training and what we provide.
Absolutely, particularly this. This is more outreach and hands-on where they're actually, sometimes they're going to the home and making sure they've gotten up and ready to go, that they're able to get to their employment or their educational component. So it's a lot of hand-holding in the beginning, but once they've gotten that routine down, it becomes second nature for them and they're able to meet their requirements.
That's great. Thank you.
Move approval of 750-15.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 750-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 751-15, approving a subaward agreement with Girl Scouts of Ohio's Heartland Council Incorporated for the Bonds Beyond Bars program in the amount of $68,000.
Commissioners, this is the third year of the agency funding the Bonds Beyond Bars program. The program provides the opportunity for incarcerated mothers and their daughters to strengthen their bonds and still encourage confidence and character within both of them. Joint activities that they participate in include planned and implemented community service projects, and then there's a leadership training for both of them as well. An estimated 75 mothers and daughters will be able to take part in this program this year through this funding. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
And this is really important for women who have paid their dues and will get out.
Right,
of,
and been separated from the
yes,
child.
Exactly. So we wish them success.
Move approval of 751-15.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 751-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 752-15, approving a subaward agreement with the Center for Healthy Families Incorporated for teen parenting and pregnancy prevention services in the amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, my final resolution here is for teen parenting and pregnancy prevention services through community and school-based programming. This can include, but is not limited to, case management, support groups, career planning, linkage or referral to other community-based services. According to the statistics that are provided to us, 94% of the teen parents that they've been working with over the past few years have given birth to a healthy baby, and they have a graduation rate last year of 72%. Pending any questions, we would ask approval of this resolution as well.
Move approval of 752-15.
Glad we're doing this. Glad to second.
Works hand in hand with the infant mortality.
It absolutely does.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 752-15 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lance.
Next, we have our Economic Development and Planning Department.
Resolution number 737-15, review of petition to annex 0.687 plus minus acres from Jackson Township to the City of Grove City, case number ANX-EXP2-28-15.
Good morning, Commissioners. Matt Brown, Planning Administrator for the Economic Development and Planning Department. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 0.687 acres, more or less, from Jackson Township to the City of Grove City. The area to be annexed includes parcel number 160-001371, located at 3811 Mayfair Drive. The petition was filed by Thomas R. Clark on behalf of the property owner, Drema K. Rowe. 12.5% of the site's perimeter is contiguous to the City of Grove City, and the city passed resolution number CR 52-15 on September 8th, 2015, indicating the services that will be provided upon annexation. The petition meets all statutory requirements outlined in Section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code. Pending any questions, staff requests your approval of this petition, and a representative of Thomas Clark is here on behalf of the petition.
Okay, great.
Just answer any questions if you have any questions.
Are there any sensitive lands, any wetlands or anything like that in any of this area?
No, it's basically just a house, where she lives, and that she just is annexing for utilities.
Utilities, right, okay. All
Where
right.
is the property again?
This is located just west of Hahn Road off of Mayfair Drive.
Okay. And this complies with all legal requirements. I know I think you read every one of them into the record, but just to double check?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, great.
Move approval of 737-15.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 737-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 753-15, to adjust the boundaries of Montgomery Township, thereby making them conform to the boundaries of the City of Columbus, case number BC-32-15.
Commissioners, this resolution is to consider a boundary to change petition to adjust the boundary lines between Montgomery Township and Plain Township to make the boundary of Montgomery Township conform to the boundaries of the City of Columbus. The petition was filed by the City of Columbus pursuant to ordinance number 1567-2015. The area to be adjusted includes a parcel of land annexed to the City of Columbus on July 13th, 2015 as an expedited Type 1 annexation. The parcel is located at 5440 Morse Road, parcel number 220-002043, and consists of 13.87 acres, more or less. The petition has been filed in accordance with Section 503.07 of the Ohio Revised Code. Pending any questions, staff requests your approval of this petition.
Good old Montgomery Township, which we'd all be challenged to find, right? Paper Township.
Move approval of 753-15.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 753-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 754-15, awarding a loan agreement with the Community Housing Network for the University District Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $450,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Roland Seward, Assistant Director, EDP. The loan agreement is funded with federal funds. Community Housing Network will rehabilitate 68 apartments in 13 buildings in the University District for very low-income disabled county residents. The total project cost for renovating the 68 units is $11.5 million. The renovations will provide many upgrades for each unit, including Energy Star appliances. The project will impact 198 construction jobs. We do have Ryan Castle from CHN to provide more details on the project.
Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Commissioners.
So this is in the university area, and is this kind of a facelift? This is not a new housing. This is basically getting some much-needed renovations. And you mentioned, and I heard Energy Star. That's good, helping on utility costs.
Correct, yeah. We have 13 buildings in and around the university area, as far south in the short north in Victorian Village, and then as far north as like Clintonville and Beachwald area of Columbus. And we are able to address a lot of energy efficiency improvements. Some of these structures are historic structures, so we can't take them all the way to enterprise or LEED, but we do have a blower door test in every property that we do and address as best we can all of the efficiencies needed to improve the property.
Are any of those on the 11th Avenue area? I've noticed there's some, there might be another organization that's, because you mentioned historic. Some of your buildings have
that is another
historic preservation.
organization, and I'm aware of that, but it's also a great property.
Yes, good. Well, glad to hear that you're hitting everything, energy conservation, some historic preservation, but also trying to get some residential savings. And
Absolutely, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to take existing housing that we've owned for probably 10 to 15 years, some cases longer, and prepare it to be utilized for another 15 to 30 years for our residents. So it's wonderful for us.
And your residents tend to have their...
All of our residents have a disability.
Yes.
Mental health is usually the disability.
And are really in need of affordable housing, and your rental rates are affordable.
That's correct, and we utilize a rent subsidy from the CMHA, so that is extremely helpful for all of our residents in terms of being able to afford housing in Columbus and Franklin County.
We've had a growth of a lot of more expensive rental units, but we really are having, I don't know if I want to call it a crisis, but certainly a dire need of affordable housing. So thank you for making sure that what we have is going to be maintained. Appreciate it.
Move approval of 754-15.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye. Thanks for being here.
Resolution number 754-15 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Public Facilities Management. There he is.
Community
Mr. Goodenow.
partnerships.
We'll refer him to come back to the community.
Okay. Resolution number 738-15, authorizing a contract agreement with Corda Nemeth Engineering Incorporated to provide professional design services associated with the Hague Avenue expansion project in the amount of $251,600.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Goodnow with Public Facilities Management. Commissioners, the board is the owner of a property located at 900 North Hague Avenue. The current tenant, the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities, is vacating the premises. The property, which includes a 54,000 square foot facility, is located adjacent to another property the county owns and maintains on Hague Avenue. The neighboring property houses operating units of the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department has a need for additional operational space. This morning's resolution would authorize a contract for professional design services and the preparation of specification and plans required to advance the build-out of the additional space required by the sheriff. Pending any questions, PFM recommends your approval of this action.
Move approval of 73815.
I'll second that. This was really a good fit all the way around for everyone, for developmental disabilities, moving, and the sheriff's needs.
Yeah, it was an excellent fit. Actually, you almost have a little bit of a law enforcement corridor there where you have, by having these two properties adjacent to each other, they'll only be half a mile or so from the site of the new jail. It's close to the Columbus Police Training Academy, and there's a lot of synergy between all those groups. It's a good fit for us.
Well, we really appreciate everybody's cooperation. It's always tough to make a move, but sometimes it works out quite for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 738-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 756-15, authorizing a partnership with the Columbus Veterans Beneficial Board and the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority in sponsoring the 2015 annual Central Ohio Homeless Veterans Stand Down at the Greater Convention Center in the amount of $5,000.
Commissioners, for a number of years, this board supported the efforts of really multiple partners in sponsoring the annual Central Ohio Homeless Veterans Stand Down. This year's Stand Down will be conducted on Tuesday, October 20th, and for the first time at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. PFM is again recommending your support of the event with an appropriate donation. I would tell you that it's an unfortunate event that we have to have, but it grows each year. I expect there'll probably be in the neighborhood of over 500 participants who will come to the event. They receive everything from full medical screenings to job placement and training services. And again, we'd recommend your support for this year's event.
Ken, or Jim, I know last conversation I was with Ken about this before I left. So this isn't the total figure. This is obviously what we committed, then the cost was a little higher. Where is that being picked up by the Convention Facilities Authority?
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks. This $5,000 was an initial committed amount. It is my understanding from information I received yesterday that there's an additional $3,000 that will be needed to ensure that all of the facility charges are covered.
And do you intend to bring that back before us?
Therefore, we intend to bring that back via a purchase order, which will be submitted for the 20th agenda. I'm working with OMB and Public Facilities Management to make that happen.
Great.
This was kind of a placeholder initially.
Yes.
We knew, since it's a brand-new venue this year, I was with the Military Officers Association of America, their Central Ohio chapter, on Friday, and we had quite a discussion. This is the 17th year for the Veterans Stand Down. Rick Isbell, who does a great job for our community, was there. And I know they still need volunteers, so I'm just going to throw that out there, and hopefully there will be enough volunteers. And I was still concerned, share this with Commissioner Grady and Commissioner Brown, Michael. Women veterans remain the largest growing group of homeless. So I'd ask us to focus on that and get to understand that a little bit better. And I hope that as well, I know the Dispatch had an article regarding the thinning of the benefits and front page regarding food pantries. There is an organization in town that I was informed when I met with them at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank actually has more food than they've been able to distribute, and they're seeking veterans and even active duty families to receive those funds and those food items. So I'd like to get something up, if we can, on our website so that the community knows where those resources are, and it would be appropriate to do that around the stand down.
If I may, Commissioner, additionally, I'd like to note that the board is also sponsoring a clothing drive. There's still a few more
Yes.
days to donate new or gently used clothing.
New
for
or
that.
gently used?
Yes.
Right. Does that include shoes?
We'll take shoes also, Commissioner.
Yeah.
We have big, large collection boxes in our facilities through the government center, yes.
Because
more than happy
I
to
know
take those.
that's a big need among the veterans too, shoe items. Okay,
Move
great.
approval of 75615.
Thanks for everybody's work on this. I'm happy to second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye,
Resolution number 756-15 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
very much.
We'll go back to
Okay.
We'll go to Human Resources. Resolution number 73915.
Resolution number 739-15, authorizing a contract with S. Renee Norlock and Associates for recruitment services in the amount of $25,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. The Board has also authorized the hiring of a director for the Department of Job and Family Services. The Commissioners wish to utilize an executive search firm to assist with the recruitment and screening per Ohio Revised Code 30786. Consulting services are exempt from competitive bidding. This resolution authorizes an agreement with S. Renee Narlock and Associates for recruitment services. The cost of the contract will be up to $25,000 for these services. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
move approval of 73915.
Even though consulting firms are exempt from competitive bidding, we have actually worked and interviewed additional firms in the past, but we've had a good experience with Ms. Narlock, correct?
Yes, we've used her successfully in 2 previous searches, and
Just want to make that clear because we always like to have competition. Right. Happy to second this.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 739-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 740-15, approving personnel actions.
personnel actions, Department of Animal Care and Control, 1 suspension, Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 resignation, Department of Job and Family Services, 1 lateral reclassification, 1 transfer within the agency, 1 position change, 1 suspension, and 2 resignations. Department of Economic Development and Planning, 1 resignation. Public Facilities Management, 1 promotion, 1 retirement. And Sanitary Engineering, 1 new hire and 1 position change. Pending any questions, I request approval.
Move approval of 74015, or 74015.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 740-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 757-15, approving personnel actions.
And our second round of personnel actions, Child Support Enforcement Agency, 2 promotions, 1 transfer within the agency, and 1 name change. Department of Job and Family Services, 2 promotions and 2 resignations. Department of Economic Development and Planning, 1 rate adjustment. And Public Facilities Management, 3 promotions. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
Move approval of 75715.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 757-15 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next, we have purchasing.
Resolution number 741-15, approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,558,430.69.
Commissioners, good morning. Chris Johnson, representing the Franklin County Purchasing Department. Resolution before you requests your approval of 130 purchase orders. Purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. And pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Move approval of 74115.
I'll second that. Nothing unusual here, Chris.
Nothing unusual, no.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Grady,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 741-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 758-15, approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $600,972.02.
This resolution requests your approval of 80 purchase orders. Again, as before, the purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. And again, pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Move approval of 75815.
And again, the same question, nothing unusual here.
Nothing unusual, Commissioner.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye,
Resolution number 758-15 has been adopted.
Thank you.
thank you. Next, we have the Board of Commissioners resolutions.
Resolution number 742-15, authorizing appropriation adjustments for Phase 2 of the Network Reliability and Redundancy Initiative.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Lukaup, representing the Board of Commissioners, and with me today is Julie Luss, representing the Data Center.
Good morning again.
Morning.
The county has built a redundant network, including internet redundancy, fully integrated to a disaster recovery data center in Westerville. This project will wholly leverage those investments by enabling continuous processing of most county websites and applications through any level of disruption. It will also increase data segregation, privacy, and protection, in addition to meeting the county's increasing storage needs by reducing additional storage costs in 2016 and 17 by over $600,000. NetTech, who's been a partner throughout the network project, is located here in Franklin County, and the Data Board has approved this project. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 74215.
This is really a great project. You mentioned the leverage. We opened the first in the United States public data center in Westerville, and this is taking advantage of that private-public partnership with, I think, American Recovery Act funds.
That's
at the
correct,
time.
Commissioner.
Correct.
Right. So thank you. This just shows that we can do these things and do them very well, and with someone in Franklin County.
Yes.
Glad to second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 742-15 has been adopted.
Thank you
Thank you,
again.
Commissioners.
Great.
Resolution number 759-15, authorizing choices for victims of domestic violence incorporated to receive the fees collected in 2016 for the support of shelters for victims of domestic violence.
Good morning. Sue, you're welcome to sit at the, yeah, please join us. You have a tough job.
So sitting down is nice, thank you.
Yes, exactly. Tell us a little bit about,
Thank you.
What's
Good
going
morning.
on?
I'm Sue Valillo. I'm the Executive Director at Choices for Victims of Domestic Violence, and I very much appreciate you having me here this morning and this resolution. Choices in the last year has increased our shelter bed capacity from 29 beds to 51 by reconfiguring some of the use of space
Good.
within the building. In the last fiscal year, which ended in June, we had 742 people use the shelter in that 1 year time frame. Half of those people were children. So the need for the service is huge. Your support is huge. We need to provide 3 meals a day, every day for folks in shelter, case management services, group support services, all within the shelter. Shelter services are really individualized for the needs of each unique family that stays with us. So length of stay may vary depending on the family's circumstances, and all of these things are made possible through your support, and we deeply appreciate it.
well, and it's not just our support. This is a state law, which we really appreciate, and it's been around for about 30 years now, a long time. Has there been an increase in these fees recently? And maybe our county administrator knows, or have they remained pretty flat? It's really up to the Ohio General Assembly what these will be assessed at.
It's, this fee is
Marriage
tied to marriage licenses, divorces and dissolutions.
I worked on that law a long
being
time ago.
Senate Bill 46. No,
Yes,
Senate Bill
Senate Bill
46.
46.
I see my director of the Office of Management and Budget getting ready to chime in, so I'm going to
Good.
defer to Zach Slayer.
It has not changed in recent years. I'll have to go back and look for the.
I'd really like to know, because the need at the shelter is tremendous, and I know you've been talking with us about potentially the county taxpayers funding additional dollars, and these are fees, they're not tax,
Right.
a general tax. And when this law was initially passed, there really was not a system of shelters anywhere in Ohio. It was all private dollars and very difficult for local nonprofits to maintain. And I know you've done a great job. It's with the need growing. I'm wondering if we shouldn't be talking with our County Commissioners Association of Ohio and our General Assembly members about needs everywhere and be joining together. Because the facility has really lasted probably more than its useful life.
Absolutely.
And it's time to take maybe a fresh look at all of this. Do we know?
It's at least 1994 is the last
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
change to the law on the marriage license.
That's amazing. Wow. How many years?
That's over 21 years.
Two
since the last
decades,
amendment.
over 2 decades. Oh my gosh, it's time to look at this. Okay. All right, well, glad you're here today to talk about this, and we'll get the work done today, but I hope we can talk with our delegation, with our state association, and women all over the state of Ohio really need this help.
I appreciate your support on that as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Move approval of 759-15.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 759-15 has been adopted.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks for all your work.
Resolution number 760-15, accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tlarik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution is the annual requirement pursuant to Section 5705.34 of the revised code to certify the tax rates for collection for next year. I do want to note that the renewal levy for the support of the Columbus Zoo is not included in this certification pending the outcome of the November election. If the levy is approved at the November ballot, a subsequent certification will be provided by the Budget Commission to the board early next year.
Does the same go for Adam H.?
Their expires at the end of collection year 2016, so it's
we're
still
okay on that one.
being
Yes.
certified, yes.
Okay, great.
Move approval of 760-15.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 760-15 has been adopted. Resolution number 761-15, authorizing the execution of a release of land use restriction agreement.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good
Chris
morning.
Long, Deputy County Administrator. The Franklin County Board of Commissioners authorized the issuance of multifamily revenue refunding bonds in 1998 for the West Bay Apartments project. Part of the transaction included the owner of the project to agree to a land use restriction agreement, ALURA, which guaranteed that the properties would remain affordable to those of low and moderate income means. In accordance with Section 16 of the Land Use Restriction Agreement, the LURA has expired and the bonds have been retired. Therefore, this resolution would authorize the execution of the release of the Land Use Restriction Agreement, and this agreement has been reviewed by the Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Any questions, would recommend your approval.
Move approval of 761-15.
So does this mean that the land use restriction of low and moderate income housing will no longer be there?
That requirement, correct, would no longer be there.
So you heard the earlier discussion about our need in the community for low and moderate income housing.
Correct.
Will the owner, is there low and moderate income housing on this property right now? Will that be the case for a while, notwithstanding the removal of the restriction?
I believe that is the case, but I cannot speak to that. They were hoping to have folks here in the audience today,
Is there
and
anyone
it looks
here?
like there is someone here to speak to that directly, so thank you. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves before, so
great.
please welcome. And if you could state your name and who you're with before presenting, that would be terrific.
I'm Chatney Martin. I'm representing Vesta Management. And from my knowledge, the new buyer will be continuing the affordable housing for the next 15 years.
Okay, where is your complex located?
The complex is located, Georgesville Road.
On the west side?
Yes,
which
on the west
There's quite
side.
a need for affordable housing there.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're taking you, you're the management company, not that you're not representing the new owner, or you are
Correct.
representing, who is the new owner?
That I'm not sure about.
Okay. And is this a permissive release of land use restriction, Mr. Prosecutor? You know? You don't know? Okay.
As I understand it, when Nick Soulis initially reviewed these documents, the original agreement in 1998 set forth the requirements for the LURA, and once they expired, then once those conditions had been met or a time period had passed, those restrictions expired, and that is my understanding from Mr. Soulis's review is what occurred in this instance. So by operation of the agreement, the LURA has
By
expired.
operation of law, we actually have to release this. We don't really have a choice.
By operation of law, the requirement of the specific requirements on low and moderate housing have been met by operation of the original agreement for the bonds, is my understanding. And in the reason that we are in
If Chris
front-
says is accurate, I'd agree with that. I guess the reason I said I didn't know is Mr. Soulis didn't specifically talk to me about that resolution before the meeting.
The purpose of, and Commissioners, the reason that we're here on this, as I understand it, that had been presented to the prosecutor's office and then presented to this board, is that the property, as has indicated, is in the process of being sold.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. In looking at the documentation that supports this resolution, in 2005, the Columbus Regional Airport Authority issued bonds to refund the bonds issued by the county, rather. And then as Chris noted, more than 15 years has passed, the 1998 bonds have been paid off. Therefore, the land use restrictions have in fact expired. And the prospective buyer desires to have the attached release of land use restrictions approved by this board, executed by this board. However, low and moderate income occupancy restrictions will remain in effect through 2027 due to tax credits that were issued on the property.
So that's a separate
contained within
issue,
the-
but it
within-
still impacts.
Because of the tax credits.
Notwithstanding our release today,
Correct.
the tax credits will remain in place, and therefore the restrictions will.
Yes, through 2027, according to the documents.
That's excellent clarity for. Okay, excellent, great.
Move approval of 76115.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 761-15 has been adopted.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
Commissioners.
today. And now we'll go back to community partnerships, resolution number 75515.
Resolution number 755-15, authorizing general fund supplemental appropriations for the support of community partnerships.
Good morning again, Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution will authorize a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $620,497. This will be used to support a contract amendment with the Affordable Housing Trust in the amount of $610,497 as a result of increased collections of the permissive conveyance fee from the previous 12 months, as well as support in the amount of $10,000 for first night. Pending any questions, would ask your approval of this resolution.
Move approval of 75515.
And I will second that.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 755-15 has been adopted.
And just for a second, before we get to the journalization, I see Dan Willis has joined us. We already acted on your resolution, Dan. Were you here for the stand down? Would you like to come up and just say a few words about it? Because it is a very important event in our community. We have very strong military families and veterans here.
Great, thank you very much. I'm really glad to be here. This is our 21st year providing services to homeless veterans in Central Ohio. Last year, we served 478 people. We're hoping to go up to 550 this year. Unfortunately, we have the ability to do that. This year we've increased our social service agencies from 35 to almost 70 social service agencies. I think we have every Franklin County office in the world in our event too on top of it.
We're so happy about that. It's good they can help.
And again, we're going to offer the hot meal. We'll have haircuts as we always do. We have clothing.
And those are provided free of charge from the Barber and Beauticians Board, right?
There's a
Yes.
salon that brings in a whole class of students, and they spend the whole time cutting hair for free. And it really helps them, and it also helps our clients out too. So we're really pleased to be able to provide all those services for free to our veterans. All they have to have is their DD 214. If they don't, we can research their history on the spot and give them a Franklin County Veterans ID on the spot.
County Recorder Brown's office is
Right.
there, and they'll issue, and what's that number again? DD 214?
DD 214.
So
And Judge Barrows
Got it.
will be there too to help with
Great.
any issues that they have of a legal matter. So we're all prepared and ready for them to roll. It's the 20th from 8:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon. Parking is free for volunteers and for all of our guests.
And do you still need, I heard on Friday from the Military Officers Association of America that there was still a need for volunteers.
Sure, there is. They can go to our website, centralohiostandown.com, and click on the volunteer button and sign up. They can sign up as an individual, or they can sign up as a group representing a specific agency. And that really helps us out a lot. We couldn't do it without our 250 volunteers, 225, 250 volunteers that really make this happen for us.
And I know you have veterans who volunteer. You have, I've seen in previous years, Daughters of the American Revolution. You have county employees and city employees who volunteer
Sure,
their
sure.
time. So,
We even had the junior ROTC from the downtown high school.
That's
They have 80
excellent.
students that are juniors and seniors in high school who will help us set up the day before and will also help us the day of the event, acting as, in their uniforms, as personal concierge for our guests that need assistance the whole time.
and I heard Rocky Boots is going to donate lots of boots again because
Yes.
that's a very big need in the veteran.
Very much so. I went to the homeless picnic for Make a Difference Day, advertising our event. We have a lot of simpatico with a lot of organizations that go on. It was amazing to me how many men and women knew already about the group, and some showed me their boots from last year.
I've had
So-
that happen when I've been out in the community. It's really touching, right?
So we make a difference, we really do. We try and hook people up with the type of service that they need to help them through their next phase of life, whatever that is.
And I've heard too, there's a need for larger sized clothing,
Right.
both winter and summer.
Well, winter clothing would be preferred, but XL and higher. We find that when people clean out their closets, they clean out the smaller sizes. I don't know why, but they do that.
Well, that's not good to trend, but we know how that works, right?
But as our homeless population is following the same trends as those who aren't homeless in terms of girth and how they're growing. So we try and work with that too. We're working with Volunteers of America who help us with sorting and managing the clothing. And for the first time, we have Girl Scouts of Central Ohio sorting our clothes and preparing them so that when we load in, we can set up and get going a lot faster.
And we just talked earlier this morning, Dan, we have a clothing drive here at the county to assist with that. But-
Commissioner Brown will be here at around 10 o'clock on Monday to make a presentation of those. And we've arranged all that with Marty Holman.
Great.
So we're really looking forward to that. And last year, you asked for a Twitter handle. Look on the back at the bottom.
Excellent.
We have a person from Columbus State who donated his time to update our website so that we have all those goodies that we need for a larger population to understand what we're trying to do.
And Dan, earlier we talked about food. There's been a lot of the food pantries around town serve veterans, but they don't have signage saying, if you're a veteran, call here. And there are organizations that actually have an abundance of money and food available to veterans. Will that information all be at the stand down?
In the brochure, we have a list of all the services that we're offering, all the social service agencies, so that if they need veteran services, there's a section on veteran services, that they can talk to those people face-to-face while they're there, including we're hoping to have CODA there in case transportation is an issue, because when you're homeless, you just need to get to your job, that's all.
Right.
You know. So we're hoping to have all those services for them so they can talk face-to-face. We're encouraging our providers to ask the best questions, because we find a lot of times our guests don't even know what questions to ask. You know, they're in a heck of a mess. So they need somebody who says, this is what you need to look at for education, this is what you need to look at for jobs and for clothing.
Well, and as a former member of the Defense Advisory Committee for Women in the Services, we also know that women veterans are the largest, they remain the largest growing group of homeless. Will there be special help there at the stand down
Yes.
for women veterans and their families? Because
Yes.
they often have family that, you know, they want to stay with, and their children, they can't find housing for themselves.
We have several landlords that are coming to us for the first time through Volunteers of America, landlords that they work with. And so it's nice to have a known quantity there to help people in terms of getting housing, you know, to get them out of Faith Mission, to get them out of Faith on 8th into a place of their own. We also have women's medical services from the VA, a whole raft of services specifically for women for that.
Well, we appreciate all of your help and assistance. I know you've worked with us on other events like the MLK Day.
Right, right. I'm pleased to work with Rick Isbell. He's the veteran coordinator for Mayor Coleman. He's our chair, and I'm the vice. And we have 14 other people around the table that represent social services in Central Ohio that help this event go. They all volunteer their time to make this happen, to serve our men and women. And it's the best part. Well, I'd like to set an invitation to all the commissioners who are available to come. We have a flag program at 10 o'clock. One of the most inspiring things is at 10 o'clock when we do the flag program, everything stops, and we say the Pledge of Allegiance together. So regardless of how much money you have in your pocket, that little poem you learned in first grade ties us all together and unites us as one people. And it really helps our guests get rid of that homeless mindset so they can be receptive to the services that we're trying to offer that day. It also inspires our volunteers to serve that much more.
And I've been there for that. It's very, very touching. So thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, always happy to be there every year. It's at a new venue this year, but it's going to be terrific, and everybody's excited about it.
Exhibition Hall E is the room. And this is one quick thing. For the first time, I've been doing it for 6 years. It's going on for 21 years. When I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, the day of the event, I'm there early, okay? I have 60 to 70 people waiting outside, regardless of the weather, and they know about it. This will be the first time that we'll be able to have our guests come into the building at 6 o'clock and wait until we start the program at 8:30, and we're going to serve coffee and donuts to them. Our volunteers will be doing that. So I'm pleased not to have our guests wait outside for this program for the first time.
It's great, and we really appreciate the convention facility authorities' work on this for
They've
us.
been over backwards. Them and Center Plate have worked very hard to make this happen for us, and we're really pleased to work with all of them.
Thanks so much.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks for being here. I didn't want to ignore your presence in the
Thank you
audience.
very much.
But we
I
did
really
pass your
appreciate it.
resolution, don't worry.
That's the best part. Thank you very much.
Does
I
take
really
some money.
appreciate it. Hope to see whoever can come on Tuesday
I'll be there.
at 10 o'clock.
Thank
Great,
you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And now I think we have some journalizations.
Yeah,
One
we
or
have
so.
3.
Great.
Regarding receipt of a letter of notification that Sawyer Manor and Trevitt Heights LLC plans to be managing member of a residential development and has submitted an application to utilize the multifamily funding programs of the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, OHFA, for the development of this property. Notification was received October 6, 2015, from the Columbus Metropolitan Housing Authority.
Okay.
Regarding receipt of Recorder's Technology Fund proposal for 2016 to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Notification was received October 1st, 2015, from Franklin County Recorder Terry J. Brown. The Board of Commissioners will hold an administrative session mandated by Section 317.321D of the Revised Code to discuss the proposal on Thursday, October 29th, 2015, following briefing in the East Conference Room. Case number ANX-MUNI-35-15, a municipal annexation, ANX-MUNI-35-15, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on October 9, 2015. The petition is requesting to annex a tract of land from Jefferson Township to the City of Columbus. The subject tract consists of real property owned by the City of Columbus and an adjacent portion of the public right-of-way of Reynoldsburg-New Albany Road, totaling 10.3 plus-minus acres. The applicant is Stephen Shoney. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on October 27, 2015.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
All right, seeing no more business, we are adjourned.